business first. Yeah, thank goodness. Powerless. Do we have a printed copy of those, the stuff from the engineer or the fire department? I tried to print it out at home and my printer, of course, stopped working.
I can get it up on my phone.
Yeah, I know, I just, it's easier to.
It's not on
Yeah, it's just a
This is the engineer's report.
Yeah, they issued like a one-page.
From it's from training.
The fire department had a statement, and then the engineer had like a request for additional info. You have a printed copy of the stuff from the engineer and the fire department?
Yeah, we'll do it too if you want it.
Thank you.
And I think this is the email from the engineer
Yeah.
as well.
What do you think? Is this okay to introduce?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Here we go. All right. Call to order the zoning board of appeals meeting of October 9th, 2025. We have three items on the agenda tonight. Two are a continuation from the previous meeting on September 11th, and one is a new issue. I think we should start with the continuation of the previous applications. The first one we'll look at is a continuation of the proposal for 9 Lapani Lane. The applicant is seeking an area variance approval for the installation of an accessory recreational structure in the rear yard of the detached single-family dwelling. The following area variance is requested from Article 7, Section 172-38F, accessory buildings, structure and use requirement. Floor area requires a limit of 400 square feet or 10% of the floor area of the main building. There's currently no accessory use, and they're proposing a 700 square foot pavilion. And we have two. Would the applicant like to, if you want to just give state your name and address and just give you have the full proposal before, if you want to just give a brief summary and any changes you might.
Ina Krabatsky, the proposal is for the accessory structure. It's a pavilion rescue, not something that's being repurposed from another property. We're asking for the 300 square foot variance for that structure. In terms of, the proposal has not changed much. We do plan to add more landscaping to alleviate any concern of the runoff. I also wanted to remind the board that we are putting it on pillars, what are they called? Like the concrete blocks that.
Footings?
Footings, thank you. I was blank on that. And so under the footings, under the pavilion, and we'll actually extend it around, there will be gravel to help capture any runoff. And again, my plan is for anything coming off the roof to capture and water and catchment for plants around the pavilion itself. So those are the enhancements that we're proposing.
Since the previous meeting, you said you're gonna add plantings, if any change in the size or request?
It's prefab, so unfortunately, it kind of comes as it comes. If I could have changed the size, I would have stayed within the 400 square feet of the permit.
Gotcha. Okay, and just as a summary of the previous meeting, there were several people voicing concerns about drainage issues on Lapani Lane and then going on to other properties and down Mountain Road. There were several neighbors and residents who were concerned that was going to exacerbate an already kind of bad situation.
I mean, where the pavilion is going and kind of the fact that the entire backyard is grass, the water they're concerned about is a concern. I see it myself. It's not going to come from the pavilion, though. Like, it comes, we're on the top, we're basically on the side of a mountain. So it comes above us, and it definitely rolls down Lapani Lane, which is paved. This will not exacerbate it, and I think for the board's recommendation, the engineer did look at the property, and he also confirmed that where the pavilion is and the way that it's going to go, the water will dissipate into the lawn way before it goes to anything that is paved around the property.
Yeah, from the last meeting, we had made a formal request to the village engineer to look at the property. He was over there, just kind of taking it, looking at where the location was being proposed, what the structure was. He had come back to the board with a request that would be to be relayed to the applicant, just basically asking for additional information, like a site plan with topography lines, drainage plan, any drainage mitigation, anything like that. Just wondering if there was anything formal you'd like to submit about that.
I don't have anything formal to that. I mean, like I said, the topography kind of is what it is. I don't think it's documented on the survey. But and I think I did see within his recommendation, again, extending the gravel around it, which I would definitely take. But you guys have the plans have not changed since.
Are you doing any grading before installing the pavilion?
No, because it's going on footings.
So I think the engineer's comments really only go to if there's any grading proposed.
Okay. And he has submitted, there was a letter submitted to the board, just basically summarizing what he had been analyzing, and then for plan review and drainage review, requested a complete set of plans, including existing conditions, grading site plan, and associated any information about methods of redirecting stormwater, both existing and proposed, to be put on the plans. You had kind of alluded to that before, where you're planting gravel around the perimeter. I believe that the drainage from the pavilion is coming from the roof, just straight down,
Yeah.
just kind of discharge at grade.
It would discharge at grade, and because the pavilion kind of plans came prefabricated, I do want to add gutters to it that go into rain and catchment barrels as well. So ideally, very little of it would even go down to grade. It would all be captured and recycled anyway.
Okay. And then he had also, in addition to the formal letter, he had sent correspondence to the building department, where he stated, addressed to Janelle Stong of building department, I just want to stress that I'm not overly concerned with the drainage from the pavilion. It's my understanding that it is generally a generally grassed area and has no gutters, so there won't be a point discharge of runoff from the roof. I would estimate that any runoff from the roof area will dissipate before making its way off the property. Jason Piningaro, PE. Anyone have any concerns or questions? Anything we want to discuss?
I think that I think we have to clarify the addition of gutters then. So, you know, if you're adding gutters, then, you know, we have to be sure that the rainwater is being collected. If you're not adding gutters, it's going into the gravel, which the engineer is saying doesn't anticipate. But if the gutters are discharging, there's a downspout that's discharging the water into a focused area, that's what I hear he's,
Yeah.
but you're saying you're gonna collect that water.
Yes, so like, I'm not looking to make it easier for water to run off. I'm actually trying to make it so that the water gets captured,
And how
doesn't
will you-
go
I
in.
mean, how do you do that?
From what I've seen, and again, these are like YouTube things, you run the way that the gutters have like the pipes, you just run them directly into a catchment barrel at the bottom. So all that water would be collected, and I'd probably try to do it if I can in multiple places so that I've got water like at each corner, at least two of the corners closest to Lapani.
So I guess you'd be collecting the rainwater. I've seen it before.
Yeah,
It's used as like a reservoir for watering other plants.
exactly. Yeah.
So in that scenario, I guess there would be no net addition of runoff, because it would all be captured by the.
If I do nothing, it goes into the gravel, it goes into the ground. It would go through the grass the way that it does now anyway. If I do this, it doesn't even do that. It gets captured and then recycled for irrigation.
So I have a question about the code itself. So the 400 square foot or 10%, what's the purpose of that? Why is that code? Like, what are we trying to, when we put that code in place, what is it that we're trying to fix, accomplish, or avoid? And for the reason of that code?
I mean, I can only give you my best guess, but I would think it's probably a combination of aesthetics and avoiding too much impervious surface area.
Manny, did you have something?
Yeah, I mean, in addition to that, I gotta think this is more directed to smaller lots, especially lots in the area down here in the SR district. I gotta think in the CR where the property are much larger, like in the case of this particular property. Although we're still restricting it maybe for aesthetics and other things, but runoff in that area is not a concern.
So,
For this type of development.
so the code doesn't take into consideration the lot size, or does take into consideration the lot size?
It does, well, it does, because it's also said 10% of the structure. So you need to calculate that based on the square footage of the lot and the building itself. So in the calculations, yes, you're taking that into consideration as well.
So what is the lot size? So what is the variance, the total variance that's being asked for?
400 over the 700 minus the 400. So it's
300 square feet.
300 square feet.
It's 300 square feet. So
And
the
lot
700,
is 1.88 acres.
so we're going on the 10%, not the 400.
10% of the house. That was
Of
like,
the house.
the house is like 1,200 square feet. You know, the size of the house, the footprint of the house.
Right.
So it'd be like 120 or 240. I forget whether it was 2,400.
Yeah.
The footprint. But
So the code doesn't really take into consideration lot size then?
So to a certain degree it does, because houses are built depending on the lot area, you get so much square footage.
Right, but this house is 1,200 square feet,
Whatever.
which is quite small for that size of lot, right? The footprint of that lot. So I'm just, again, new guy on the board. I'm looking at what's the minimum variance needed, right? We're asking the question, is there a true hardship? Right? Is there a true hardship? What's the minimum variance needed? Is it consistent with the neighborhood? And does it align with the zoning law purpose in general, right? So that's a reason for my questions, right? So
Yeah, I mean, I would say just in terms of lot size and kind of how that works, that the zoning district that it's in dictates the size of it. And it's kind of it's like a one-size-fits-all prescription for the general lot size. And, you have plenty of properties that don't really fit into that category, and that's kind of the purpose of the zoning board of appeals, to kind of take the one-size-fits-all prescription of the zoning law and kind of make exceptions where it's warranted for different properties.
Or not.
Or not, yes.
Manny's good.
Just for the record, this is considered to be a type 2 action on the secret. But technically, this is exempt from any review of the environment. So just keep that in mind.
So what's the implication of that?
None. That means that, on single-family dwelling that are coming for variances, commercial building that are under 4,000 square feet, there is no environmental review required by the state of
Okay.
New York.
Impact, yeah. Got it.
Yeah, I think there were some concerns by the board and neighbors about the use of the pavilion that, you're proposing that it's gonna be used a pretty benign function, have some tables out there, or I think there were some concerns that, it could be used for, it's a pretty large gathering space. You could have a big party out there, or it's I kind of thought of it as equivalent to like the size of, if you're having like a backyard party, you get a tent. It's kind of like that size for a party, which is, that's like kind of like a one-off event. This is going to be there all the time. If someone else is staying in the house, they could have a gathering there every night if they wanted to. Just kind of wondering if you wanted to.
So, like I said last night, and it's a fair concern. If it was one of my neighbors, I might have similar. We have no history of Airbnb-ing the house ever, nor do we plan to. We live there. We don't really give the house over even to friends if we're not there. We're either there or we're not. If this is approved, we're going to fence in the backyard, because right now it's not, so that it is not accessible to just anyone who wants to go there. It's private. And, as the neighbors last time said, we don't really have a history of like, we'll throw, a party or whatever, a barbecue once or twice a year, and that's really it. It is really meant to be used as kind of an outdoor living room, more so for us than as a catering hall, if you will. And as you said, the property's big enough, like, as much of an inconvenience if I wanted to, I can go buy 2,000 square foot tents and put up a 4,000 square foot thing and do it every weekend. So,
Manny, could I ask you a question? Just, I'm not familiar with the whatever regulations we have for like Airbnbs, or I don't know what that's called, transient rental, whatever.
Short-term rental.
Short-term rental.
Short-term rental.
Do you know, are there any restrictions on this property about like, if they did want to, I believe you're not trying to rent it out, but you could sell the house next year and that's still there, and that person could
fair.
want to run a,
There are requirements. If you're gonna put up your house on Airbnb, you do have to get an inspection from the building department and get a certificate of approval. It is limited depending on the number of rooms that you have. It is limited for parties. They cannot do events like you just mentioned. Airbnb cannot have a wedding there and have a big party. That's not permitted. So we do have a list of restrictions for the Airbnb tenant.
okay. So if there were, I don't think, nobody has a problem with people have a party every now and then. I think what you want to avoid is where you have, this becomes a venue
Yeah.
Where like, you could, someone could run a wedding there every weekend over the summer or something like that. But it sounds like that is
Yeah, I mean, that's
restricted,
really,
it's pretty,
a different consideration. If that was the case, then, that'd be something that the building department would handle. But,
right.
I think based on the applicant's representations, the use probably isn't really a concern.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure there was some sort of
Yeah,
safeguard in place that, if that was to be abused.
yeah, so your
Checked.
approval wouldn't condone any kind of use beyond what's already.
And again, sorry, I think you went through this last time. Is there any grading involved or removal of trees?
If anything, to be honest, if anything, we are probably going to add when we fence in the yard, because I don't really plan to put in the privacy fencing. The property's big enough. We're probably going to add like those aphrodite or whatever they're called, like the really tall, the things that grow tall, like hedgy things. So, thank you. Yeah. So there will be more stuff added as opposed to taken away. I can't put them now because, again, we run a deer reserve. There's like 20 of them at any given time. So until it's fenced in.
Maybe now would be a good time to open it up to anyone from the public.
Yes. Motion to open the public hearing.
Second.
If there's anyone in attendance who'd like to voice an opinion, please do so. No. And I don't believe we haven't received any additional letters or written contributions. All right, so motion to close the public hearing?
Second.
All right. Any opinions anyone would like to discuss? Any additional questions?
Oh, good, thank you.
Um,
Do we want to walk through the 5 factors, or, sometimes we've done that, or
Yeah, we can do that.
again, 4?
Do we have that
Goes back, it's self-created.
noted?
I could go
Yes,
through
we-
them if you want to, so,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. So the first factor is whether the proposed variance would have an adverse impact on the character of the neighborhood or community. So I can go from one at a time if you want, or just.
It's part of what we've been discussing, and we think that the concerns about the water have been adequately addressed, it's my view. Yeah, I mean, that was the biggest concern that was presented at the last meeting, and it doesn't seem like that the pavilion will contribute. There are mitigating strategies that are even considered.
The second factor is whether there are any reasonable alternatives for the applicant to pursue other than the variance.
Nope.
There's
We
not.
talked, we talked about making it smaller, she can't, it's, so
Yeah, I mean, we
salvage.
discussed about alternatives for size, making it smaller, but this is kind of a sort of a product. That's the one size.
If it was brand new,
Yeah.
I would have started something that didn't need a variance.
Yes, yeah.
The third factor is whether the request is substantial.
I would argue that it is substantial, that the accessory limit is 400 square feet, and this is 700 square feet. But, some of the things we considered is, the relative size of the lot, that it's a pretty large lot. It's 1.1 and change acres. So it's different than if you had proposed having it down here in the village where you have smaller lots. It's kind of a bit of a mitigating factor.
Whether the variance will have an adverse impact on the physical or environmental conditions, I think this one you kind of talked about already. And the last factor is whether the hardship was self-created.
And yes.
Yeah.
So-
Not something we seek to emphasize, so.
Right. Yeah, I mean, in lieu of the other considerations, kind takes less importance. All right, would anyone like to,
I move that we, I move that we approve the variance as requested.
I second.
I'm going to say no.
I'm also gonna say no.
Comes down to that.
So, even though I read the minutes, is it all right to vote if I wasn't present for the last meeting?
Yeah, you're here.
I vote to approve.
All right, so the vote is 3-2, which means variance is granted.
Thank you.
All right. Moving on to the next order of business. And ma'am, just so you know that this is all, our decision goes to the building department, so any next steps will be handled through the building department.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Hudson Street.
Okay.
Hudson Street, yeah.
Item number 2 is also a continuation from the previous meeting on September 11th. So this is a continuation of the proposal for 363 Hudson Street. The applicant is seeking an area variance approval for the construction of a one-story addition to the detached single-family dwelling. The following area variances are requested from Article 3, Section 172-8C1 SR District Setback Requirement. They are seeking a variance for the side yard setback requirement. It's required to have 15 feet. They're proposed, it's existing 1.2 feet, and they're proposing 2.5 feet. The required both side yard setback requirement, the existing is 23.7 feet. They're proposing 3.7 feet. And existing lot width of 100-foot requirement, it's existing 50-foot. They're proposing no change, remaining at 50 feet. So if the applicant would like to just introduce yourselves, name, and give a brief description of your proposal.
Adriana Walraven.
Ricky Akmoody. So our hardship is the fact that we can't go up with the house and put an addition on top. The structure's not strong enough for it. You know, the whole house has just been redone, the whole roof line has been changed and everything. Far as the drainage and the grade of the house, nothing is gonna change far as the grade. We actually, did you get the new plan that shrunk it down to 18, 20?
We did not.
Yes, it's right here. Yeah. So it went from 20 there to 18 on the width, so it expanded this distance here from there to there.
So after the fire department reviewed it, there was no issues with the 20 feet. The county hasn't had a problem with it. Just to work with our neighbors a little bit, we decided to give them 2 more feet in between the 2 houses, just so there's a little more room. God forbid there was ever fire, and they did have to go through there, they wouldn't have a problem. But they said that they wouldn't use that anyway, they would be going on the road in the back, Pleasant. So, far as the grade, the water's still gonna run the same direction. We're not changing any elevations. There's not gonna be a, foundation in the ground, it's gonna be on a slab. So nothing's really, the water's still gonna run in the same places. And actually, I have pictures I can show you. The neighbor on the right side of the house, which is 1.5 feet away from our property, his gutter
Our property line.
and the spillway thing for the gutter is running his water on our property instead of into his front yard. The house in back of us is running his gutter onto the blacktop, which is running into our yard, which his should be in a tube running into his backyard. So there's 2 people running water onto our property. So once they change that, which we're gonna speak to the building department about that, there'll be less water going through the yard.
And just if you could discuss the modification you made, so it is, on this plan, it says that there's a 6 foot 2 foot proposed setback from your side yard, it's on the west side of the property.
Yes.
Just kind of, if you just kind of discuss any, was there any consideration of making it smaller than that, or what were you restrained by? that
We
you-
could, I mean, it can't be any smaller than that. We have to put a bedroom, a bathroom, you know, we have a newborn, so, he's getting our room.
The chain link fence that exists between the western side, what will happen with that?
It can stay there. It doesn't have to be moved. It's not in the way of anything that we're doing. It's right on the property line.
And the fire chief suggested that no fence go in between the two houses at all.
Yeah, I think you said if it did, then make sure there's an access.
Yes.
Yeah, he was more concerned about access to the back of our house,
Right, yeah, yeah.
so it made complete sense.
You had spoken before about a parking plan. You currently park
In the back of
in
the
the
house.
back, but the thought was that at some point you would park coming in from Hudson Street. So the plans reflect the driveway where it currently is.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I got it. And that's where the proposed dumpster is. That'll be on the drive. What is your parking plan during construction?
Probably the road, the street.
And we put on the original plan, the stockpile area. The dirt that's there, I'm probably just gonna load it in a truck and haul it to my other property and not even keep it there. And then I'm gonna bring in, you know, good gravel and stuff to put, you know, underneath the slab and everything, so.
Now, you brought up the drainage, so it's gonna be a single pitched roof, I assume with gutters on either side?
Yeah.
And just kind of, what are you planning on doing with the drainage?
Just gonna go where it goes right now, same place. And with our 2 gutters and the neighbor's 2 gutters not running onto our property, it's not gonna add any more water going through that area. Matter of fact,
Is it
they're,
an issue now? With,
Water?
with the.
it's not an issue, but I mean,
No, but I'm saying even right now,
no,
it's a non-issue with
No.
the neighbors.
not at all. And their 2 roofs are twice the size of what we're gonna have with our addition that's dumping the water there now. So if that water is removed, we're not gonna be adding anything else to that section. And it's easy for them to drain the water on their property. It's not like a big excavating job. The one guy needs to add a pipe to his gutter on the corner of his garage and to his backyard, and then that won't be coming down the driveway. The other guy's just gotta change the spout to run to the front of his house instead of towards our house, and, you know, it'll run in his front yard.
I saw photos circulating here, these, I assume you.
That was my homework, to go around and
Yes.
find houses that took up.
Yeah, if you wanna just kind of give a.
Sure, so one of those houses, I went on to Hudson Street. So the homework basically was find houses that took up most of the lot and then were next to other houses that took up most of their lot. And so one of them's Hudson Street, one of them's Cherry Ave, one of them's River Ave. And I believe they are actually even closer together than ours would be on either side.
And our neighbor who doesn't want the addition, if you go to the other side of his house, he's probably only 6 feet from the other property line. Besides 1 foot from ours.
So it's suffice to say that you were able to find other lots within the village close by that have kind of
Yes.
just sort of a precedent for.
As per the fire chief, it's village living.
Right, having this as close as we're seeing here and what's proposed. Let's see. You know, make a motion to open public hearing.
A second.
Just would like to, first of all, one of our requests last time was we wanted to get some input from the fire department, to see if they had any issues with kind of restricting the lot, if had any concerns for any fire hazards to be created. So this is from Mike Trainer, Assistant Fire Chief. So he is, in summary, it's quite a lengthy letter, but it basically says, I have reviewed the land survey site plan preliminary layout of the proposed addition. On October 7th, he visited the property. During the visit, they met with the applicant to review the project and gain some additional information about it. And then he reviewed the building department's historical files related to the property. They approached the property from Pleasant Lane, which is at the rear of your property.
Yes.
It's a private road that serves 3 single-family homes adjacent to 363 Hudson Street. This approach allowed us to evaluate access to both the neighboring properties and the rear yard of 363 Hudson Street. For historical context, the fire department was consulted to make recommendations to allow for access of fire apparatus as part of the Pleasant Lane subdivision approval in 2000. These recommendations were provided in a letter dated March 21st, 2000, and implemented as part of the site plan approval. Adequate access for fire apparatus did exist following implementation of these recommendations, and that access remains sufficient today. Our apparatus can still access all 3 homes via Pleasant Lane in the event of an emergency. Regarding the rear access to 363 Hudson Street, Ms. Walraven indicated that she may install a fence at some point in the future, though not as part of the current project. Based on discussion and review of the property file, we understand that there is a deeded right-of-way across Pleasant Lane providing access to the rear of 363 Hudson Street as established under the 2000 subdivision approval. Should a fence be installed in the future, we strongly recommend that any approval include a requirement for a gate of sufficient size to allow fire department personnel to access the rear of the property from Pleasant Lane if needed. In closing, it is my opinion that the project as proposed would not impede the fire department operations at 363 Hudson Street or the adjacent Pleasant Lane properties. Respectfully submitted, Michael Trainer, Senior, Assistant Fire Chief. And public input is open. If anyone from the audience would like to, if you could just state your name and address and.
Good evening, Dylan Manning, 367 Hudson Street. I'm the resident to the west of the property. So, as I said at the last meeting, I believe the houses are close enough as it is. All I'm asking is for the rules to be followed here, and I believe that's fair. It's not my fault the foundation is bad and they can't build up. It's not my fault they have a shed behind the house and can't build back. They could fix the house or get rid of the shed. If the only way for them to expand their house has a negative impact on mine and my wife's property value, then I believe this variance should be denied. Thank you.
Sir?
I'm Michael Ricky, 371 Hudson. I'm Dylan's neighbor. I own 196 feet back from Dylan's house and the property on Pleasant Lane. In 2000, when those 3 houses were added back, there's a pond in the back. There was also underground water in my property, which is the lowest point in the neighborhood. I heard a mention about Mr. Healy's property being drained more into my property if you're considering the back of this house, the back facing my property. Not quite sure why it's not going into the pond that's already back there. I did complain back in 2001 when the properties were being built. That was the time when my mom got very ill and I couldn't follow up with meetings. Dylan came prepared here. They put a 55-gallon drum in the rear corner of his property. I'm pumping probably 30 to 100,000 gallons of water. So Andriana, the last 5 inches of rain we got, we all get flooded very quickly. My water comes from underneath, from Mr. Healy's property, no fault to Dylan, but his addition, that porch, that's 6 feet from my property, which I have no problem with, but I asked them not to drain it for my property, they did anyway. Mr. Healy's property was raised probably 3 to 6 feet in height. There's probably 2 feet between my property and their property that was built up. The last load of dirt, the woman was in high heels, 16 yards of dirt filling in the last little water spot that was still flooding both our properties, which was a long pond. Now I get all the water that comes to my house, 4 inches in heavy rain. I just had my roof redone and my water does go towards the front of my house instead of the back to alleviate the flooding. So my biggest concern, where I was failed last time by the board regarding drainage, is that whatever Mr. Healy's gutter is doing, get it towards the pond that's back there where there is water already.
I have no problem with that.
Instead of putting more water towards my property, there is a considerable amount of shale in the ground, so there is excessive water even up the hill in my backyard. I own 2 lots, 118-foot frontage on Hudson Street, half the lane with Debbie, who's my next neighbor. And the one lot is, let's see, my house is, I think, 58 in the front, and then 56, or they might be vice versa between the 2 lots. But Dylan's property, my house to Dylan's fence is 5 feet, and the fence to his porch is about 6 feet. We have no issues. There is one thing that the builders may have considered back then regarding windows. If you go to Martha Ronk or Reeves, whatever you want to call her, I'm a 61-year resident of that house. I've been there my whole life. There's 3 of us left in the neighborhood. I believe Martha's house has no windows towards Andreana's house.
Has 2 windows towards our
My
house.
has 1 window on Dylan's side. So I don't know if they did that in consideration of privacy. I understand Dylan's concerns for the closeness. I would be concerned about windows. Andreana's house is not, it's a cottage basically. And I think any kind of renovation she would do to sort of equal what Dylan's house looks like now would be a benefit to the neighborhood, if anything, as far as property value.
Yes.
With his concerns in mind, understandable. I don't know if Dylan plans on staying there for 60 years or not, you know, but he's been a good neighbor so far. The one behind him, I'm not gonna say anything. I could add some things in.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's, your concerns about drainage are well taken and understood. Their proposal obviously can't have any, there's no bearing on the Healy's, property. They can't ask them to change their drainage based on what's being proposed by the neighbor, but, they obviously need to follow whatever was approved originally, and if there's any other issues, you have to take that up as a separate issue. But just in terms of the general drainage of that whole area, that's definitely something we will consider. Looks like that may be the last of our public input. Motion to close the public hearing?
Motion to close the public.
Second.
So I think the drainage is something that we need to definitely consider.
I mean,
Basically, it's
the only
gotta be
thing I was
all-
telling you, if those 2 weren't running there, we wouldn't be adding any more water that's going there right now. But we have a crawl space underneath the house and it's not flooding. So, I mean, I have no problem with everything the way it's flowing. I mean, his should be moved. His is going directly onto our property.
Right, and that's-
And his would be
that's
easy to
not,
put to the front. All he
that's a
does
separate
is gotta
issue
put
from what we're
a
considering.
horseshoe on there and it'll go right to the front.
Basically, the only thing that pertains to the application is whether your proposed addition is gonna make an existing situation worse
Yeah.
or better. So.
Right now, there's no flooding or anything there. It rains, you can go out there, it's not soft or anything like that.
Half of it's a pitch roof, simple pitch roof, so it's half the drainage is gonna go in the front of the house, half of it to the rear.
Well, the half in the back, I can make it go to the front of the house as well. I'll just put a pipe alongside the foundation and make it run right out, connect both pipes, and they'll both run to the front of the house.
Another idea that was brought up in regard to the closeness to the neighbor's house. What does that facade of the addition look like? Are there, windows there?
So I was going to say, we
doors?
absolutely are not going to put windows where we're all looking into each other's house. We're not.
The windows are in the back
They're
of the
gonna be
house.
in the back. We're gonna need one probably on the side in the living room area, but that living room area won't even be facing his actual house, because our house is a little bit more in front than his.
Well, it looks like you have a window there.
So from the last meeting, it's come in 2 feet?
That, sorry.
Since the last meeting, it's come in a couple, is that right?
Yeah, 2
Right,
feet.
and then last time we had the same kind of concern, and it's come in 2 feet from where it
Yeah.
was originally gonna, in terms of the variance.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, everything was approved by everybody for the 20 feet, as far as the fire department, the county and everything, and even the building department. I just, we were just trying to be a little, I went and talked to Dylan after the meeting. He was a gentleman to talk to, but like, he didn't want to know nothing. It didn't, if I was putting 2 feet on there, he didn't want it, so. And really, it doesn't make, you know what a bedroom is, it's gotta be 16 feet, or it's not gonna be any
bedroom
room.
and bathroom.
And the opposite, it will make his property value go up when the house next door appraises for 480,000 or 500,000 instead of 380. And literally, he looks right at the house anyway, so I mean, whether it's 20 feet away or 6 feet, he's still looking at the same thing, looking out the window.
Does anyone have any questions, concerns?
Well, I would argue that there's no hardship here. There is no hardship here. That's the argument that I would make. A larger house, wanting a larger house is not a hardship.
No, that we can't go up.
Right. But what I'm saying is, what you're asking for is a variance for a larger house.
Well, larger house is a
Yeah.
lot more expensive. So if you
Yes.
sell a house
We're not claiming
currently-
hardship. Somebody asked us about it last meeting, so I'm just,
Right,
was
but
repeating.
one of the things that we have to look at, right, when you're asking for a hardship, when you're asking for a variance, right, to a code, one of the reasons that we grant the variance, right, is because there's a hardship. You have a hardship. There is something about the property, right, in a certain configuration that creates a hardship. If you create the hardship, then that's not a hardship. The fact that you're gonna make a larger house, you're creating the hardship. You understand?
Okay.
That's the perspective that I have on this, is that you've created the hardship. That there isn't really a hardship here. If another owner came in and bought your house, that's the other test that we have. Does the hardship disappear? So if somebody comes in, wants a 2-bedroom house, buys your house, the hardship goes away. So that's a test of the
We
hardship.
don't want to
So
sell
here's,
our
I'll tell you what
house.
our hardship is.
Yeah.
Hey, we're living in 2025. Houses are extraordinarily expensive, okay? This is where we live. We're trying to say, hey, we do have a hardship, we have a growing family. Is it possible that we can extend our home? That is our hardship. Instead of going out and buying a brand new house with interest rates the way they are and prices the way they are, go ahead, tell me it's not a hardship, but that is our hardship. So we're saying, hey guys, can you help us out? Can we potentially expand our house? That's our hardship.
I understand, and I understand that.
Yeah.
And I can relate to that. But again, from a test perspective, and again, I'm one person on the board, but from a test and the way that I look at it, that's the way that I look at it.
And these are not black and white decisions. Part of the reason, the way that we make a decision is to kind of take all of the factors into consideration as kind of as a whole. So it's excellent point about it not being a hardship. That doesn't mean it's a nullifying factor, that it cancels everything else out. It's all taken into consideration of the whole picture. And I think one of the, I mean, it's sort of a lowercase h hardship, but you're saying that it's difficult to impossible to build it up.
What's
because
hardship
of the-
really? Like, that's our hardship, you know? I mean,
Well, I mean, just in terms of like the way that what you've proposed, it's because you can't because of the existing foundation, you can't, it's difficult to go up.
Well, it's also because the town has houses just like that in it. I mean,
So why
we're
can't
not
we do it
trying
too?
to start something new. There's houses that are closer than our house to that house, so.
So the other thing that we have to also look at is, does it create a hardship for somebody else, right? So with respect to Mr. Mannion, this potentially creates a hardship for him.
Why, how?
They bought a house 1 foot off the property
He
line.
comes
Right, but
over
he-
and mows it, and then goes back to his side.
Right, but my point is, when he bought his house, when he bought that house, he knew what he was buying, right? He knew what he was buying. He knew that he was buying 1 foot on the other side. He didn't know that 5 years, 6 years from that point, that there would be, 4 feet on the other side. So he went into that decision eyes wide open. So from his perspective, there was no hardship on that side. He knew what he was buying. So, but now you're coming in, you want to get a variance. That variance creates a hardship for Mr. Mannion.
Sir, if he utilized that 1.5 feet for anything, a kid running around, a playground, anything for 1.5, if he utilized that 1.5 feet for something, understood. This literally is, we go over, we mow it, and we go back to our side. So right now, when he looks out his window, he sees a house with windows. All you're gonna do is look out your window and still see a house with windows.
Yeah. Mr. Mannion came here tonight and presented his hardship, right? So we have to take that into consideration.
That's right, he's entitled to his opinion, totally. He's a nice guy, we like him. It's cool.
I want to thank you for providing the photos, kind of give some context to the proposal, just in terms of the density of this specific neighborhood, and then just kind of the general area of the village. And there are definitely houses within the village where they're built very, very close together. I would kind of counter that with there's sort of another building type that your property is on, where you have these long, narrow lots, and then the house, and all of the houses are done the same way. All the house is built very close to one property line, and then you have an open space. So you're able to be very close to one property line, and then that gives an open space next to it, and that's kind of the cadence of the whole neighborhood. As long as everyone kind of abides by that context, that everyone has sufficient space on either side of their house, it becomes
None
a
of the
problem when
houses
we-
really have sufficient space on the side of the house.
Well, I mean,
They
your
have
next door
backyards
neighbor,
and
that's-
front
that's-
yards.
Your house is right on your east property line, and then you have a space. And then Mr. Mannion's house next door is right on the adjoining property line, and then there's a space.
Yeah, she's about 4 feet away from the property line with our house,
But it's,
Our
it's
neighbor.
a
on the other side.
it's a repeating type that you see all through the village. It's kind of just kind of a way to build densely, but where everyone still has some open space on their property.
If there isn't any more discussion, I motion that we move to a vote.
Okay, does anyone have any questions or,
Do we have to go through the 5 factors? We have to go through the 5 factors?
yeah, I mean, I think, looking at the general, context or the character of the neighborhood, like what I was saying with the idea of a lot where you have the houses bunched to one side with an open space. There's certainly other lots where houses are much closer together, but I think that the proposal kind of disrupts that type, that site plan that you see throughout the village.
So could we run through the 5 factors here?
Sure.
Go
And,
through that?
Before we go any
Yeah.
further on that, I'll just note that this is a secret site too as well. But, so the 5 factors again are whether the proposed variance will have any adverse impact on the character of the neighborhood, whether the applicant has any reasonable alternatives to pursue, whether the request is substantial, whether the request will have any adverse impacts on the physical or environmental conditions, and whether the hardship was self-created.
Easy one, whether it was self-created, it is self-created, just in that you are looking for an addition. It's also kind of a little more complicated in that respect, that while it is self-created, you're also kind of restrained by the existing home, how it's built. That this is kind of the only place that you see where you can place the addition.
It will also make the house more like the houses in the area. This house is 700 square feet. All the rest of the houses are 1,500, you know, they're all bigger houses. And this will bring up the value of the neighboring houses by doing this. It's not gonna decrease the value.
It was
And I mean,
also-
you did send us around the town to find pictures of
Yes.
houses that were like that. Now we're worried, you know, now we're going by the 3 houses on each side of us.
Yes,
you know.
but, no, we're definitely taking into consideration. Another consideration is whether the proposed variance is significant. I think, I don't know if anyone else has an opinion, but I would say that the most important one is obviously the setback on the side yard. And it's, so you're required to have a 15-foot side yard setback. And you were originally proposing 3.7 feet, and now that's, I don't have the exact number, but it's around 6 feet.
I think it was one side yard was originally 2.5 and now it's 4.5.
4.5, and the other one is 6.2.
And then the combined was originally 3.7 and now it would be 5.7.
And then, related to that, we'd asked if one of the other factors is whether your goal can be accomplished through any other method. So we'd asked you to kind of look at different siting for the addition, if it has to be placed exactly where you're proposing it, or if it could be in the front yard, backyard, if it could get a little more narrow. So you took a look at that and made it, I believe it was 2 feet more narrow. And then final factor would be whether the proposal is in character with the general environment of the neighborhood. I think, like we've covered, it has, from what the fire department says, it's not having any impact on firefighting ability to the neighbors or to your own property. The one big impact it's having is to the neighboring home, to his property value, to just kind of general.
What would be the big impact, though? Like, I've never even seen his drapes open on that side of the house. You know what I mean?
This has
Like,
nothing to do with how he
there's
chooses
nothing
to
they can even
live in his
use on
home.
that side of the house.
It's just, whether you're disrupting the general environment and character of the neighborhood by the proposed addition.
No, like I said, it's gonna make it the same square footage that the rest of the houses on that block, instead of it being a little cottage.
So is everybody fine with, we've gone through the 5
Well, we have a
points?
motion, we have a motion. So the motion, and this was discussion following the motion. So,
Motion to close discussion.
well, Robert's rules, you have motion, and then you have discussion, motion's been seconded, and so now it goes to a vote.
I vote no.
Yes, I vote yes.
I think you gathered from the last application that 3-2 is a yes.
Thank you.
The variance is approved. The plans, the drawing has been updated to show the 4.5 feet, but the bulk table on the side is not, so just have your architect update that.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Sorry if I yelled, guys. Sorry.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
we're all gonna be in the same area,
No,
kids.
absolutely.
Alright.
I fully support their.
All right, our third applicant is our new applicant. This is for 43 Avenue A. The applicant is seeking area variance approval to construct a one-story accessory garage structure in the rear yard of the detached single-family dwelling under the provisions of the Village Zoning Code, Article 8, Section 172-38, accessory buildings, structural use. The following area variances are being requested. Required 10 feet from any lot line. Existing is 12 feet. We're proposing a 3 feet setback from the lot line. And then it's required for 400 a limit of 400 square feet or 10% of the floor area of the main building. The existing is 264 square feet, and you are proposing 520 square feet. So if the applicant would like to introduce himself and state his name.
Michael McGurk. Good evening. Trying not to
Just,
bring any
give
drama
a-
here. Can I approach?
Approach. Please give just a
This is,
summary introduction to your
letter
proposal.
From my neighbor who lives, that's her house. Kind of where the garbage can would be where the garage is. This is what I have here now. I'm not gonna use that word hardship. I bought the house 20 years ago, and I've been working on it ever since. And I'm just trying to build a bigger garage, that's all. Kinda, in the same area that the existing 12 by 22 is. I'm around the town all the time, walking my dog and driving, and, block over, that's the property line, they're pretty close. Here it is again. But this doesn't matter, this is just two houses that are really close together.
I missed it earlier. What were you saying about the garbage can? I'm sorry. That's
About where the.
That's about where it
Come
is.
out there.
Yeah.
So this
that's-
is Sarah.
That's the LaValley house,
LaValley
yes, which is approximately 55 feet
Yeah.
from the left side of the garage.
When you finish the garage, it'll be 55 feet.
Yes, correct. When I finish it, it will be 55 feet at that far back left corner.
And that's a letter from those
the LaValley,
neighbors.
Yeah,
from-
these folks
from
in
this,
Okay. And you have the front neighbor, the front house.
No, I don't,
Is there a neighbor to the front and to the left of you?
Like here and there?
Yeah, isn't it right
that-
here?
LaValley's to the left.
Valleys are
And then-
back here.
Yeah, isn't there a house right here?
There's one here.
It's right here.
Yes.
And I have a house in the back.
The
Yes,
LaValley house
okay,
is
yeah, right, here's Avenue A.
Yeah,
Yes,
so the house-
Jackie,
Okay.
yeah.
And in between is the driveway.
Yes.
Comes back here.
Goes to.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
then this is gonna be.
It's a
the-
flagpole
got it,
lot.
yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a flagpole lot there.
Yeah.
This is the drive to the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an odd lot.
Yeah.
Because it gets reduced. Their home was done many years ago. Jackie's house has been there for a long time. I didn't measure it. I didn't even think about it, to tell you the truth. But from here to their home, it's probably even further.
Yeah, and
You know what I
they
mean?
have the trees go, they have a whole tree line here, I think, or on their side.
Yeah, so you have the driveway. And then we have a piece of property here. Then you have the driveway. And then they have
The yard there.
their driveway.
Driveway,
And then their home. So it's probably even further than, I didn't even think to measure it, you know what I mean? I mean, they all think I'm nuts, because over the past 4 years, I've been figuring this out. Would I love a 1,000 square foot garage? Of course, but I gotta stay within, it's gotta look. I wanna build a garage that's, you're gonna drive by, you're not gonna say, hey, look at that garage, right? So,
The positioning on the lot.
excuse me?
The positioning on the lot, just
Yeah.
wondering about, it's right there.
I didn't bring my own plans.
That's okay.
I,
So, with this, so the existing garage is there.
Yes.
What keeps you from moving it so that it's in line with this or in a similar space? So it brings it even farther off that,
Okay, so this is aesthetically.
Yeah.
The existing garage is cocked.
Yep.
Petraeus, when they did this
Got it.
after the house. You know,
I
they
see.
just threw it together.
Yep.
They just threw a garage together, so it's cockeyed.
Yep.
It doesn't look good. It's small. It's, you know, I actually put a lot of money in just to get it up to where I could use it. Mine, I propose to stay in
Aesthetically,
line
yep, right there.
with
Yep.
my footing and not encroach into my yard. You know, I've gone through this in my head a million times to make it. It's going to be very expensive. It's everything's very expensive.
Yep.
But I want it to look good. I wanted to keep my neighbors happy. It's really, it's not what I wanted, but we don't always get what we want, right? And you know, we've been there for 20 years, and we plan to stay there for quite a long time. And yeah, I you know, self-imposed and that other word they were using before. I don't want to use that word. You know, I'm very good friends with them, and I come out of their house like I just did, and I go, wow. I give you a lot of credit for looking at this, you know, at my garage and my car with the cover over it, and so that's.
So what is the, what's the area where the garage is gonna be? What do you use it for now?
What do I use my garage for now?
No, the area where the garage is gonna be expanded.
It's right here.
It's got a car covered.
Well, that's where I park
Okay.
my car.
That will go in the garage now.
Yes, yeah, it's
What kind of car is it?
it's a 71 Cutlass Supreme.
Okay, so
For better choice of yeah, I'm looking white trash. I'm looking white trash. Yeah, you know, I'm trying. You know, like this is my culmination of 20 years. If anybody knew that house before, it's you know.
So, just trying to like, so where the new garage is gonna go, it's replacing kind of unused kind of junk space,
It's vacant property,
gravel.
which I call it my gravel pit. That's what I call it. I had the landscaper drop gravel in there at one time, and I keep the car. You know, what I do is I have that car, and then what I'll do is I'll pull my truck in there. My wife has a hard time backing up, so she leaves her car further up, and then I'm in the gravel pit. You know, I'm in the gravel pit. So I'm trying to get rid of all that and just have, you know, the 20 by 26, one car, 14-foot garage, a 14-foot door, not even a two-door. You know what I mean? I don't really want it to look, hey, there's a two-car garage. 20 feet is kind of tight for a two-car. 24 by 24, I can't do the 24. I'm not going to go behind the garage. I have more property, but I'm not gonna.
push it far.
I'm not gonna go. I'm on a 100 by 100.
And then the neighbor's property, this portion of their property where you're putting it, it's just the driveway, right? The
Yes,
house is back here.
yeah.
So the main impact is gonna be next to the driveway.
Right. So from here, there's the great big oak tree that drops oak, you know, acorns and leaves on the cars continuously and sap. But that piece of property here, and then the driveway, and that piece of property goes all the way to the back. And it's trees, it's bushes, it's grass, you know, and then the driveway.
Snow clearance in the winter. You know, when you know, what's gonna happen with the snow and, I mean,
Well, that's a great question because to be honest with full, snow clearance as it is a pain in the butt.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Especially, you know, I kind of just push it with my snow blower on that piece of property in the middle, and then I go towards my property and push it on my patio and into my lawn.
and I mean, with your neighbor, the Lavalleys, did you discuss? I mean, I imagine they have a plow or someone that comes and plows them, or do
They do.
Yeah.
They do. Sometimes that's me.
Okay.
With my snow blower.
Okay.
It all depends if their snow blower's working or my snow blower's working. But no, that property to the left of their house is theirs too. They have a big strip, and we kind of put their snow over there. If they get a guy with a plow, he puts it kind of in front of their house. They have they have an awkward house back there, kinda, you know, it's just not square on a, so, but they plow in it, but Mr. and Mrs. LaValle, they're out there with the snow blower, and, you know, they take care of it, so.
And in terms of you have an existing driveway here that goes to the garage. And then is that being expanded at all, or it's just sort of?
No, so, I'm moving to proposed garage.
Yeah.
Back 5 feet, okay?
So maybe like, it says stone here, I assume that's part of the gravel. So maybe it's not on here, but it's reasonable that the asphalt would extend back to the.
Yes, the asphalt will stay in line with existing, because the garage is kinda in line with existing. And then to the left of that would be bushes, you know, going, maybe a fence back here.
But it's extended back towards the
shrubbery.
garage, but it's not not getting any closer to the neighbors.
No,
The neighbors paved.
no. I played with it for such a long time, and, you know, I have some property back here, but, you know, you can think, okay, so hey, let's, you know, back here, I think I might have 20 feet, okay, so let's move it back. I'm saying, but then I extend my driveway, right? And now I have my car in my backyard, kinda. You know what I mean? It just,
And it's closer to the neighbors.
it's just not what I want, you know, my car, you know, by my grass back there, you know.
And I don't really feel like talking about drainage anymore, but,
Well, it's a
How does the
612
drainage work?
pitch, the drainage is the same as existing, it will probably be better than this, you know, the gutter's running up both left and right.
so it's gonna be,
going
it's
into
a
the
gabled
backyard.
roof, you're gonna have gutters along,
Yes, they'll go into the back.
so you're
My
gonna have
my
discharge.
property is lower than the LaValle's. It's and that property there, our two properties kinda go like this. And then I have a large hedge that I put up Jolly Green Giants, you know what I mean?
So let-
Grow really fast and really expensive, but they work and look a lot better than a fence.
But the
And,
LaValle's driveway is, it's higher.
It's higher, yeah, it's higher.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
it's
any,
higher.
any drainage is
Yeah, they're
gonna
higher.
go to your house.
Yeah, it will go right back there, and actually, there'll be a continuation of my Jolly Green Giants back.
So there's no impact, it's not like this is just flowing.
No,
off
no, nothing, no water, will be coming off of that garage. Yeah, you might be able to see it from those pictures.
Yeah.
But
And any
they're higher.
trees or foliage being removed? It looks like
No.
it's just the gravel.
No.
Anyone's view being obstructed?
No, no, I don't mean to laugh. I mean,
Right, they're looking at that car.
Right.
yeah, I kind of bought the covers to preserve them and kind of make them blend in, like, you know, this bright blue hot rod, you know what I mean? So I just kind of, you know, kind of put a cover over it. So, it's just
How about the height? Is it higher
17 feet.
than?
Yes, the existing, I think it's about 12, maybe, the ridge. I think we're allowed 17 feet, 5 inches.
Mhm.
I think I have 17.
Yeah, there's no variance for the height, but it's
Yeah,
bigger. It's just
Yeah.
more. And then
there's
is
no
it
storage up there.
That's all
I
right.
believe in, if you stick stuff up there, you'll forget you have it. It'll just be a waste. I'll probably hurt my back putting it up there, taking it down. So it's just, there's nothing, you know. Nobody's gonna be sleeping up there.
I'd like to make a motion to open the public hearing. We have a letter from Sarah LaValle addressed to the board, to whom it may concern. I, Sarah LaValle, who has resided at 41 Avenue A, COH since 1992, have absolutely no objection to Mike and Kim McGurk's proposal to build a garage 3 feet from our property line. Mike and Kim have been incredible neighbors and friends for many years. Their aspirations to build a structure that gives them more space and adds value to their property should be approved without reservations. Thank you, signed Sarah LaValle. Motion to close the public hearing?
Second.
Anyone have any questions, concerns, remarks?
Super type 2 for this one as well.
Let's see, 5 factors, is the addition self-created? Yes, it is. Applicant just wishes to have a larger garage. Is it in character with the neighborhood? I would say that oddly, it, like we discussed in this neighborhood where you have lots where the house is tight to one side of the property line with an open space on the other side. That sort of follows along with what's being proposed. The wall of the garage is tight to the property line and then leaves the other area unobstructed. Is it interfering or disruptive to the environment or the character of the neighborhood? In this case, we have, because it is tight to the property line, it's also tight to an area of the neighbor's property where it's just used as a driveway. It's not, it's kind of far from their house. It doesn't really obstruct their use of their home or the property. The drainage seems like it would work fairly well. Snow removal is not really going to be impacted. It's not increasing paved driveway space that would cause more drainage issues. It's not obstructing anyone's view. The height is higher than what's there now, but again, it's not really obstructing anyone's view. Is it significant? It is relatively significant. It's there's a 400 square foot limit for accessory structures. This one is 520 feet. So it is over. It's not wildly over what's allowed. It seems kind of mild.
And the setback from the property line is going from 12 feet, which is consistent with current zoning, but to 3 feet, so it goes from conforming
Yeah.
within limits downside.
Yeah, I mean,
But-
we
but
could argue
space-
that is significant. It's going from
But I think we
say
could
12 to 3, but it's also in an area what's not really
impacting.
impacting the neighborhood.
Should we discuss?
It's not a big number, but from the front to the back, the front, that's the 3 foot. The 26 feet down there, it will be wider because of the irregular lot size. I don't have the exact number, probably not, but
Right.
it will be further away as it gets closer to the LaValle's house.
Yeah.
Right?
It's probably also taken
Probably
into
6
consideration.
feet or 7 feet, give or take.
Yeah, that it's not, there's already an existing garage there. It's not
Yeah.
like it's wide open space. So it's just kind of making larger what is really already there.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Third,
Yes.
I'll vote yes too. I'll just vote no to keep it interesting tonight, but.
Good luck.
Good
Good luck, bud.
Thank you very much, John. Been a long road. You need these?
no, you can take them. So we'll sign everything and then talk to the big guy.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you. You doing what your job? Thank you. The last time was 20 years ago. I had to get my front. Oh, yes,
To approve minutes?
I feel too small. I have a closet. My wife
Don't
turned it into a
enlarge
closet.
it.
We don't even go through the front door anymore. I'm building a garage, it's too small. I never learn, right? Have a good night.
You too.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah.
final order of business, we need to approve the minutes from the previous meeting, September 11th, 2025. I would motion to approve the minutes.
Aye.
Abstain.
All right. Excellent. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right. We're done. All right.
The thumbs are blowing right through the sweater.
No, we don't just leave them here. No. Yeah, then Kevin will get yelled at by the mayor.
Wrong sweater, first time.
No,
There's a hall, there's a,
I know it's in green somewhere.
somewhere in there.
That's what it is.